Hi Judy, hi Celeste, looking beautiful today by the way. So thank you so much for being in the studio with us, and especially this is our Family Day celebration. Please take this time to say hi to our viewers out there.
Hi everyone, my name is Judy. I'm a senior wealth manager with PFPFA and I've been in industry for coming to 10 years.
10 years. Wow, and any children?
Yes, I'm married and I have a happy boy who is coming to 3 years old this year.
Oh, so he passed the naughty two already.
I hope so.
Okay, what about yourself, Celeste? Please say hi to our viewers out there.
Hi everyone. My name is Celeste. I'm with PFPFA for
You need more fingers? I can count for you.
more than 15 years.
More than 15 years. Yeah, plus yours and mine, I let you one hand.
Senior wealth manager as well in this industry. Yeah.
Okay, so 15 years of experience, and we are very thankful to have the both of you with us. So, I'm going to start off by asking the both of you, what does family means to you?
Right, so like I mentioned, I have a boy who is 3 years old. So to me, family is having someone who will love and support you in whatever you do, and having someone that waits for you at home. So whenever I come home, my boy will be happy running to me and hug me.
Mommy.
Yes, he'll say mommy. So to me, that's family.
Spending quality time and knowing that there are always people waiting for you at home.
Yes.
What about you, Celeste? What does family means to you?
Love family means having someone you love and loving you unconditionally.
Okay.
For who am I?
Right. So when you mention about loving you unconditionally, you mean supporting you in whatever decisions you make as well.
True. Yes.
So how has, your journey in this line been like? Because this career requires a lot of time that you may need to sacrifice during weekend, sometimes to meet a client and things like that. So how has your family been supporting of you as, a senior wealth manager?
Okay, because I have a 20 years old daughter. So
20-year-old?
Yeah.
I can't tell. Okay, continue.
Okay. So whenever I need to work on weekends or even late evenings, she'll be around to look after her younger sister.
And how old is the younger sister?
10 years old.
Age gap is 10 years old.
Yes.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. So they are very supportive in my career. So they will not grumble and whenever I don't have time for them. Yeah. So I'm very thankful to have them.
Yeah, it's great to have children who are so supportive in what you do. What about you, Judy?
Yeah, so I agree with what Celeste said, and for me, because our work schedule requires us to actually work on weekdays, evenings, and sometimes on Saturday. So my husband has been very supportive. He will actually help to take care of my son if I need to work so that I can focus on my work.
Right. But the good thing about, what you guys do in your career is that you get the flexibility to plan your own schedule.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
Instead of a typical 9-to-5 job, you get to enjoy the flexibility of arranging your own, managing your own schedule. If you have an important family day, gathering or what, you can actually have something else on another day. So that's a good thing about, what it is as a senior manager, or I should say an associate, right? Okay, next question to you. How do you guys usually spend time with your family?
Okay. Yeah, so for me, Sunday is our precious family time. So every Sunday morning, we'll do things that my son likes, like going to the beach, going to the park, even to the playground. And in the afternoon, we'll bring for enrichment class.
Okay.
So it's like a bonding with him because I will sit in with him. And then we have a family dinner together.
What about you, Celeste?
Whenever I have some free time in between, so I'll try to bring them out for shopping. Yeah, and then have a good meal together. Just create that bonding session.
Right, because your girls are slightly a little bit more older, right? And probably have a mind of their own when it comes to fashion and all.
They no longer want you to do all this for them.
But mommy dressed very fashionably. So if you're watching, we can trust Celeste on her fashion taste as well, yeah? Okay, so let's talk about being a parent. You have a 3-year-old boy. You have 2 girls. What is one of your concern, or what are some of your concern, of your child or your family? What are some of the concerns that, probably you are most concerned with when it comes to family or your children?
Okay, I would think that the most concern I have now is on their health. Yeah, being of health is all that is matters. Then and I in charge of the family grocery, so I will make sure that we have fruits and vegetables at home, and we always have home cooked meals.
Right. And yourself, Celeste?
Okay, for myself, I think emotional health is quite important now. Like, say, anxiety, stress, and depression nowadays. Yeah, kids are really into their own thinking, so you will know what they are thinking. So this is quite important
Right,
as well for me.
especially with the influence of social media, external peer influence.
Correct. Yeah.
And Judy, you mentioned about health, and does it help you being a senior wealth manager and understanding or having the knowledge in this area in planning, how can we best protect our child when our concern is about health? What would you say about that?
Yes, exactly. Because financial planning, asset planning is something that we specialize in. So when my child is very young, I've already gotten some hospitalization coverage for him.
Okay.
Because this is the most important that I would think for family with young children. And of course, I want to make sure that he's sufficiently covered for illnesses as well. Yeah, and he's more active now, so I also make sure that he has some accident coverage just to cover for small injuries.
Right, right. And what about yourself, Celeste?
For myself,
because you have been in this trade for 15 years.
Yes.
And back then, probably your oldest daughter is about 5.
Correct.
And having the knowledge in this industry, does it help you being a mom in understanding the care and maybe the necessity to look after your children, as our age progresses?
Yes. And also, I think education planning is quite important. When she was young, I really gotten an endowment plan for her. So
Wow.
now that she's entering university, this come handy. Yeah.
And you see, when we talk about, such things, it gets very intense. We even have like background music to support the intensity of what we are talking about, financial planning, estate
Correct.
planning, and that rings an alarm to us because I think a lot of us, especially young parents, I'm not yet a parent, but I see that, friends around me who are not in this trade, or maybe they do not have the knowledge in what exactly is insurance, or what exactly is estate planning, what exactly is financial planning. Probably all they know is, I already spend time with my kid, no choice lah, they sick, just bring them to the doctor. But they didn't realize that as time goes by, that can actually incur to be a financial burden on their shoulder, especially if you are not being covered. So having a financial plan or having, all this knowledge in this industry, I think it's very important to start them young because, it's always good to best protect them when we can, as early as possible, right? So let's talk about estate planning, because is it true that estate planning is meant for mature crowd? I don't want to use the word old, but I say mature.
Yes. Yes, a very, very important question, a very good question. I mean, yes, I get this question quite often. Yes, because the younger group that I speak to, they always think that estate planning is for somebody of an older age, or rather they think that they don't need right now. Yeah, but of course, I will then ask them the question, do you have people that you love? And do you have people that you wish to continue to provide for even when you're not around? If your answer is yes, then I think you need estate planning. Yeah, so I would say that estate planning has no age limit. Yeah.
So Celeste, can you give us an overview? What exactly is estate planning?
So estate planning to me will be whatever you have, you will give to the people you love in the manner you deem fit.
Short and concise. I like that. And I would like to touch on a question. In fact, it's out of my curiosity. What happens to all the cash if both parents pass due to common diseases or things like that? Will the children or relative be able to access them? Let's say if they do not have a will, what will happen to them?
Okay, right. So come back to the point on whether does the money is in joint account or sole account. If the parents pass on together at the same time, like you mentioned, then without a will, yes, then it will follow the Intestate Succession Act, whereby you will actually go through the process. So in order to tap on, they need to actually get the letter of administration. If the will, it will be a letter of probate. So it will take some time. Yes, they do have access, but it will take a longer time for them to actually tap on the money.
Right. Okay. Because I believe, in this era, the past 1-2 years with COVID, we see a lot of people leaving us, and of course everyone's looking into this. Some of them may not even be sure what exactly is estate planning or what exactly is a will. Why do I need a will? Why should I do that? It's so pantang. But they didn't realize the importance of that. Anything can happen now. With COVID, we see people passing on. We see people being unprepared for a sudden death. And all these things actually do help us, I would say, to better prep the future whenever that's necessary.
Right, right.
Okay, so what are the key areas, as parents, that you think is important when it comes to financial planning? Because I see a lot of young parents out there, they think about, I mean, I don't want to brag about it, but I have a friend who purchased a house for his son as young as 4 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, that's quite crazy,
Wow.
right? And I see all this really like amazing, or I should say, surprising and shocking things happening around me. But not every parent is able to be like that. Every parent work toot off. They try their best to really provide a good life for their children. Despite working 2 jobs, 3 jobs, and as they are going through the hard way, is there a way that as parents we can look into financial planning for our children? What are your thoughts? What are some of the necessary steps or things that we can consider, like you mentioned, hospitality, to protect the kid from being ill and things like that? What are some of other things that we can explore, in a family?
Okay, probably for me, I mentioned just now earlier, is education planning. And then it can be endowment plans, and even some lifetime income payout plans for them so that they don't get a lump sum payout. They get it as in the stages, and every year this money gets paid down via estate planning.
Right.
Yeah.
So we can look into options like education,
Yes.
endowment, hospitality. These are all part of financial
Healthcare.
planning, healthcare. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And I would like to find out, what are some of the best takeaways, when it comes to your own family. What are some of your best takeaways as a mom?
Right. I would think that for myself and my family, my husband and I advocate on planning early, planning for rainy days. So when a child is very young, we already started with all the financial planning. So we set aside regular sum of money for our child's education, and we also make sure that he has sufficient coverage. So I think as a mom and being specialized in this area, I make sure that my son is protected. Yeah.
What about yourself, Celeste?
So it has to be same lah, because I have 2 girls. So creating that bonding with them is very important. Yeah, be their best friends. Yeah, and never not to do comparisons. Do not compare, and then adjust our own expectations
Accordingly.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm sure you guys have a fair share of experience in this industry. Met many people from all walks of life, asking you different things, seeking you for, advice, what to do, what should you do, what's the right way to do, what's the best plan, Can you share with us one of your most memorable experience that you have with any of your clients? No need to give names, but just give us an overview. Maybe like the parent was going through a confusion of not knowing what exactly estate planning is, and then after getting it, the realization of how important estate planning is, something like that. What is your most memorable experience that you have?
I'll go first.
Okay, so would like to go first for the first time.
No,
Yes.
no, I just thought of the same thing. So many people with older folks, because I always met a lot with elderly parents. So they thought they just gave a lump sum to their parents, but actually they can actually give it in a multiple payouts via estate planning, through testimonial trust. So it's something that they can consider rather than giving them one lump sum and they just spend it just as fast as you might think of.
Because sometimes they don't even know where the money go.
Yeah,
right?
true.
You give them a lump sum, it's like, oh, bank 还有钱, we still have money in the bank, use,
Without
and then
knowing
without
it.
knowing,
Yes,
right?
right.
Judy, what about you?
I think one of the experience that I can share is actually, or in fact, many parents who have the intention of giving a lump sum to their children in the point of time where they are not around. So, of course, there's nothing wrong with that. But I will always ask them the same question. Do you think that your children knows how to handle this sum of money? And what if they use your hard-earned money to go and buy a luxury car? Yeah, so I will always advise them to actually look into staggered payment
Right.
for them to actually get this money at a later age when they're more mature to handle this money.
So
Agree.
that is one common thing that you see a lot in your customers,
Mm.
right? Sometimes, our way of showing love is thought we can give everything. But we also need them to realize that at times, maybe us staggering or us having a right plan to assist us with that is actually a better long run decision for our children as compared to just giving them at that point of time, maybe when they are 18 or 21 years old, and all are geared up and very garang to be a young adult, to have all the things in the world, but not having the mentality of having a good financial planning to plan for the future, right? Because anything can happen now with COVID. We didn't even foresee that coming, but look at how it has affected our life. And everyone realized that insurance is no longer a want, it's a need. Yeah, it's a need in every aspect of our life. All right, so one more last question for you ladies. Any tips for parents or soon-to-be parents when it comes to family planning?
I would say that to enjoy the parenting process, yes, take more photos and videos when the child is still young because they grow up very fast. Yeah, and being a first-time mom, it was a steep learning curve for me because it was all learning on the job, changing the diaper, breastfeeding, everything. You could do it when the child is out, right? So when you look back, of course, everything is all worth it. So just enjoy the process.
Enjoy the process. Okay. Celeste, come.
Take it easy, it's never easy, but just take it slow. You will be able to be a good parent. Yeah, it's not just as simple as 1, 2, 3, but then I think we can do it, so can you. Yeah.
Very well said. If they can do it, so can you. All right. Thank you so much, Judy and Celeste, for joining us today.